Front double bicep. Now this is one of the 4 classic physique poses and typically the first one they call on for you to do when you're at your bodybuilding show. So we're gonna go through the whole thing from the ground up to get you ready to do your front double bicep. Now I always say from the ground up because you wanna think legs first. Now speaking of that, we'll pull this up so that we can see the legs while we're posing. But a lot of times you'll see guys flexing and their legs look like this. Kind of like your biceps don't look that impressive until you flex them. Same with the legs. You gotta flex them for them to show. So you wanna be thinking about flexing because in the gym, you know, folks are used to looking in the mirror and flexing. You're typically not flexing your legs at the same time. So first thing is foot placement. Now, where do we need to put our feet? Before when I did my front double bicep, I did a symmetrical pose like this. And if you do, you want to think about bending your knees some because you're wanting to get the X frame. So wide shoulders, small waist, and then knees out some with flaring quads. And if you flex like that in a symmetrical way, what I try to think about is I'm almost pushing my heels outward while pushing the toes inward and flexing. And that helps to get those quads really showing there. So you typically see this with like Chris Bumstead typically did his like this. With the vacuum. We're gonna get to the stomach later on. But for me, especially this is helpful if you have muscle imbalances. There's other ways you can do it too, or if you wanna show more of your legs instead of just the same thing. Because we only have 4 poses to show off everything, right? So another one is similar, but you put one leg forward and you're pretty much doing the same thing. Wherever my feet are, I'm kind of pushing my heels and toes and flexing at the same time. But I can flex this leg even harder when it's a little bit in front of me. And you wanna remember the back one too, not just stand on it and think about flexing this, but flex both. So flexing both, right? And then going into your bicep, okay? So that's another option. And then another one you can do is having a leg out slightly like this. So you're flexing this the same as before. But with this, now you're able to show the front of this leg, more of the teardrop here, but then also some of your adductors, depending on how well you can flex it. So with that one, we're flexing like this. So figure out which one works best for you, which one you can flex your quads with the best, and then go from there. For now, for this, I'm gonna do one leg a little bit forward like that. So we've got our legs, right? Then we come to the abs. Now, a lot of people, when they see abs, it's like, I want my abs to show, but what they don't realize is even when you're really lean, like if I'm just relaxing, your abs aren't really showing, right? So you have to flex them just like everything else for them to show. There's different ways. A lot of people will just push their stomach out, almost like if you're taking a dump, and it's gonna flex them, but it pushes everything out. You wanna have a small waist for this. Another one is sucking in slightly, so now they're more defined, but you don't see the obliques much. And I think it looks the best and helps my waist look smaller. If I flex this way, it's almost like, somewhat like you're sucking in, but then pushing down your abs. So I usually, as I'm taking a breath, kind of suck in and pull my transverse, the abdominals beneath the main six pack, pull it in and then kind of push it all down at once. And you see that brings the obliques out. So it's like a suck in and push down. And now you've got obliques showing, and you want to get to where you can just stay like this pretty comfortably. And all these poses practice just standing here with it because you're going to be holding it for 10, 15 seconds, maybe even more. So kind of do it in reps as you're getting used to it. So now another option is the vacuum. So you just got to get used to sucking in. If you're not used to it, you can kind of get on your hands and knees and practice holding it in, and then slowly stand up and start working on it. To me, I don't personally like doing the sucking in your abs version because when I do, it actually makes my waist look wider. And so if you want that V taper shape, then if I go from like this, it's not a huge difference, but still. And I like to be able to see the abs more, in my opinion. You know, it just depends on what you like better. That's why you want to try these variations and see what works the best for you. So for me, I like doing this one leg forward or out to the side a little bit. Do that suck in as I'm doing it and push down. And now we've got quads, obliques, right? And now we got to move to the upper body and do chest and arms. So one thing I see people do a lot, especially new folks, if they're doing a posing picture, or submitting something to be, you know, what do you think of how I look, my body fat, whatever. They do this and pull their arms way back. And what happens when I do this, my lats are gone and it looks really flat, right? So you want to think about bringing your lats out so you get that V taper. So a way to help with that, as you bring your arms up, think about bringing your elbows forward more, and that's gonna bring your lats out. So you're not like this with your elbows really far back. You're bringing the elbows forward some, and think about actually flexing your lats, like as if when you're doing a squat, you kind of take a big breath and pull the weight down. It's kind of like that, but while you're doing your biceps. Now there's debates on, you know, where should you hold your biceps? Here, level, up higher. A lot of people say higher. I will say the higher up you go, it is gonna pull your lats in. So be aware of that. Just see kind of where you like it. You don't wanna be below shoulder level. So you want your bicep peaks to be above your shoulders regardless of where you put your arms. But there's also tilts you can do. So as far as those muscle imbalance as well, you know, like doing little tilts and stuff like this, adding a little bit of asymmetry kind of helps with not just hiding asymmetries in your body, but also just giving it a little bit different look. Because if everyone just stands there and goes like this, you know, you're up and have a little bit of a difference, you're gonna stand out more. So be aware of that. I've never had anyone tell me like, hey, you need to be perfectly symmetrical when you pose. So see how it goes for you. And if they tell you that, okay, well then I'll go straight for them. So then there's the chest as well. You don't wanna just be like this. As you take a breath in when you're getting ready for your pose, right? See, I look more square when I'm like this, but as I take a breath, bring your chest up, arms out. Now it's a lot wider. And you see right now, I'm not really flexing my abs, I just have it up. And that's kind of how I did my pose before. I just did symmetrical and I went like this, because when I flexed, it made my waist wider. When I did a vacuum, it made it wider. But then I learned different ways to pose my abs. So when I go like this, the obliques show, the abs show, and it makes everything look a lot more shredded. So we put all that together, right? I'll do it a couple different ways. So we got the symmetrical one. I got my legs here like this. Legs, abs as we go up. You wanna get to where you can hold that for like 10 plus seconds at a time. And you're gonna get lightheaded when you're not used to it, especially the leaner you get, because I got a show in a few days and it's starting to take the energy, right? So then, other way, similar, you know, one leg a little bit in front, doing legs first, abs, chest, arms, and flexing everything you can think of that's showing. And then my favorite is the leg out because it shows more of your legs as well. But you just wanna make sure you're not leaning, you wanna have your upper body straight still as you do this. So same thing, I kinda go like this, flex the legs as I'm getting ready. And that is your front double bicep. So if you have any questions, post them down in the comments, hit the like. Got other videos coming up next. We got the side chest pose, the back double bicep, and then of course the thigh and abs pose. But lots to come on those. Stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.